Hey everybody, it's Keagan here. I'm back with another video for you guys, and it's time for another movie review once again. And today we're going to be talking about three movies this time, all of which I saw in theaters over the past weekend. And these are actually brand new movies this time. So let's talk about it. The first film we're going to be talking about is the one I saw in theaters on Friday, and that is the 2024 horror thriller film Strange Darling, which was written and directed by J.T. Molnar, and it was originally released on August 23rd, 2024. Now, I wanted to see this one when it was in theaters, but I missed it when it was out initially. But thankfully, the Metro Cinema was doing a screening of it, and I decided to go ahead and see it. And I actually saw this one back to back with True Romance, which is one of my all time favorite movies. And this is the movie that screened first. And this is a one that seemed promising from the trailer. I remember seeing the trailer for it when I went to go see Maxine in theaters. And finally, I saw the film, and I gotta say, I really enjoyed it. And we'll go through the story really quickly, and then we'll get into my initial thoughts on this film. So let's take a dive into Strange Darling. Now, the story for Strange Darling is told in 6 chapters. However, it's not presented in chronological order. It's presented in a mixed up order, similar to how Pulp Fiction was presented, which is pretty interesting. Anyways, basically in this film, it follows an unnamed man and an unnamed woman who have a one night stand at a motel room. I believe the woman was like a prostitute or something. That's what I'm assuming, and the man is like a hunter or something. And then the next day, the woman is trying to get away from the man who is trying to kill her, or is it the other way around? But the thing is, between the man and the woman, one of them is actually a serial killer who's wanted by the FBI for a string of murders throughout the American countryside. But the question is, who is the real serial killer? And without giving away too much, that's basically what the premise of the film is about. It's pretty interesting to me. Now, I really enjoyed Strange Darling for what it was. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. And it's definitely on my list for some of my favorite films of the year so far. It's simple, it's twisty, it's pretty well written too, and there's a lot of twists and turns throughout the film. And the major plot twist around halfway through the movie definitely shocked me. I was not expecting that. I was not predicting that at all. And I'm like, holy shit. I don't want to spoil it, but if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to keep this review spoiler free as possible. But I really like the music of the film, the cinematography, the use of color and lighting is all really well done. And surprisingly, the cinematography for this movie is done by actor Giovanni Ribisi, who is which is very surprising to me. Giovanni Ribisi, you might know him from movies like The Virgin Suicides, Ted. He also had a very small role in David Lynch's Lost Highway and a couple of other things. But yeah, I'm actually impressed he did the cinematography. I thought he did a really good job doing the cinematography for this movie, even though he's mostly known for his acting career. But it's a really well made film. It's very twisty, and I like how the story's presented. And like I mentioned before, it's very similar to how the story was presented in Pulp Fiction. It's basically kind of like Pulp Fiction, except a serial killer is in the woods or something, and you got like a cat and mouse game ordeal, if you know what I mean. But it was pretty interesting stuff. I really enjoyed this one. If you're looking for a movie that's simple and entertaining to watch and that will keep you guessing until the end or something, then you might enjoy this one. I'd highly recommend it. I will definitely be checking it out again. And it was a nice experience seeing this one at my favorite theater with a big crowd of people and watching it back to back with True Romance, which was an interesting double feature. But overall, I really enjoyed Strange Darling, and I highly recommend it. And yeah, definitely check it out if you like these kind of movies. And I'm giving Strange Darling an 8.7 out of 10. The next film I saw in theaters, I saw it on Sunday, and it was part of the Edmonton International Film Festival. And the film in question is the new Sean Baker film, Anora, which was written and directed by Sean Baker. It first premiered at the Cannes Film Festival on May 21st of 2024, and it will be getting a wide release on the 18th of this month. And this film was also the this year's winner of the Palme d'Or of the Cannes Film Festival. And I gotta say, it was really well deserved in my opinion, but we'll get to more on that in a little bit. Now, I haven't seen any of Sean Baker's other movies like The Florida Project, Tangerine, Red Rocket, and a couple of his other films. And I've been wanting to check out one of Sean Baker's movies for quite a while. I hear a lot of his films are really well received and are liked upon others. And I hear really good things about them. And when I found out that the Edmonton Film Festival was going to be doing a screening of his latest film, which I've actually been looking forward to, I figured why not go see it. And I gotta say, I had a really good time seeing this one in the theaters. It was very packed. I think it was almost sold out, actually. And wow, it was a really good experience seeing this film in the theaters. And this movie was fantastic. But we'll get to the story first, and then we'll get to my thoughts on it. Basically, this film follows a stripper named Ani, played by Mikey Madison, who you might know from the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And Ani works at a strip club known as the HQ, where her boss often selects her to dance with some Russian-speaking clients, because Ani can speak some Russian. And one night, she meets a young Russian playboy named Vanya, played by Mark Edelstein. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. He is the son of a wealthy entrepreneur up in Russia. And Ani just does what she normally does, dances and talks with Vanya, but then she starts to develop feelings for Vanya, and the two start to fall in love. And then one day, Vanya asked Ani if she would like to be his girlfriend for a week, like he would pay her to be his girlfriend for a week. So Ani agrees, and they go to Las Vegas with some of Vanya's friends, and they all have a good time. And basically, Vanya asks Ani to marry him, despite knowing each other for a short period of time. Mostly because if he marries Ani, he won't have to go back to Russia when his green card expires. So the two get married, and it doesn't take long before word gets back to Russia that Vanya got married. And let's just say his parents aren't very happy with the fact that their son married a stripper, and they get some of their men who are already down in America to get them ready for their parents' arrival, because they get on the next flight to America and are set to arrive in the next morning. But it goes wrong when Vanya runs out of the house, so leaving Ani and three of the goons to go find Vanya before the parents arrive, so the parents can end the marriage. And without giving away too much, that's basically the story of the film. And well, let me be the first to say this movie definitely deserved winning the Palme d'Or at Cannes. It was a really well-made film. The cinematography and the lighting is really well done, especially during the nightclub scenes in the film. And the performances are all really well done, especially from the lead actress, Mikey Madison. And the way the dialogue is written in the film just feels so natural. It's like real people talking. Like, the dialogue is just so well written. And it's just like you're basically just watching all the events unfold like in real time, kind of. I don't know if that's really makes sense, but you probably know what I mean. Like, the dialogue's really, really well written. And yeah, it was really funny. It was really entertaining. And I had fun seeing this with a really big crowd of people. And I think this movie is best watched with a big crowd of people. And just, wow. I would say this was a great introduction to Sean Baker. As I mentioned before, I haven't seen any of his other films, but you can rest assured I will definitely be checking out his other films in the future. And wow. Really great film. It's definitely one of my favorite films of the year, and as of me recording this, this might be my favorite film of the year so far, tied with The Substance, which was fantastic as well. And it's raunchy, it's funny, it's entertaining, and it was just a really, really great movie. I really, really enjoyed it. The only issue I have with the movie, it feels like the film just abruptly ends. It just doesn't feel like it was over yet. It feels like there was like maybe a few minutes left that were missing or something. I'm not really sure. It's just the ending just feels a bit abrupt, but not too overly abrupt in my opinion. But all in all, this film was fantastic, and I will definitely be checking it out again in the future, and I will definitely be checking out some of Sean Baker's other films in the future. But great movie. Just don't watch it with your parents. I'll tell you that. Since the film centers around a stripper, you probably know what to expect because there's a lot of nudity in the film and there's a lot of sex in the film. But yeah, great film. Just not one you'd want to watch with your parents. I can tell you that. Anyways, I'm giving Anora a 9 out of 10. And the last film we're going to be talking about is a brand new film that came out last week, and that is the new Francis Ford Coppola film, Megalopolis, which was written and directed by Francis Ford Coppola. And this is his first film in over 12 or 13 years, which his previous film was Twixt from 2011, which was a vampire movie, I believe. I haven't seen it, but I heard it wasn't very good. Now, Francis Ford Coppola is famous for directing films such as the Godfather trilogy, The Conversation, and Apocalypse Now. He also did other films like One from the Heart, Rumblefish, and Bram Stoker's Dracula, just to name a few. Now, this was a movie that Francis Ford Coppola had been trying to make for decades. I think he first started to write the film in, I believe it might have been the 70s or the 80s. I think it was probably the 80s. He didn't start. He tried to make the film in 2001, but unfortunately he had to cancel plans for it following the 9/11 attacks. And then he tried to make the film again, I believe, in 2003, and then he scrapped the film in 2008, and then didn't pick up the script again until I believe it was 2019, and then he started filming the movie in 2022. And the film finally debuted at Cannes Film Festival with a lot of mixed reactions from both critics and audiences alike. And then the film finally got a wide release last week. And it seems the film has been getting a lot of negative reactions from people since the film's wide release. Some people like it, but most people don't seem to like it for some unknown reason, which I can sort of understand why. Now, let me be the first to say this was a movie which is probably the most anticipated film I've been looking forward to all year, but we'll get to more on that in a bit. But right now, let's get into the story of the film. So basically, this film takes place in a city called New Rome, which is kind of like a fictional version of New York, and it follows the conflict between a man named Caesar Catalino, played by Adam Driver, and the mayor of New Rome, named Franklin Cicero, played by Giancarlo Esposito. Basically, they're at conflict on how they can rebuild a New Rome with a thing called Megalopolis, and there's a lot of conflict in between the families. And the film is very basically has a lot of references to like the Roman Empire and that kind of stuff. And it's basically, you can think of it as like somewhat of a modern version of like a certain period of the Roman Empire, but in like modern times. And there's a lot of other side plots in the film, which is kind of a mess, but this is basically the main plot of the film. So without giving away too many spoilers, that's basically the story of the film in a nutshell. Like I mentioned before, this is the film I've been most anticipated for the most, compared to all the other movies that I've seen this year so far. And I know the movie's been getting a lot of mixed reactions, and I can definitely say this is definitely one of the most polarizing movies of the year. Maybe the most polarizing movie of the year, I'd say. It's definitely a movie, you either like it or you don't like it. And I was kind of nervous about going into this film because of seeing a lot of the negative reactions upon the film's release, and I'm like, uh-oh, that might not be good. But that didn't stop me from seeing the film anyways. And finally, I saw it, and unfortunately, I'm sad to say, I was really disappointed with this movie. Now, I didn't straight up hate the movie. I didn't hate it. It's not horrible. It's not great either. It was all right, I guess, but it was a very disappointing movie. And at the time of me recording this video, the most disappointing film of the year. Well, at least in my opinion. Now, there are a couple things I like about this movie. The casting was good. It's got Lawrence Fishburne, Adam Driver, Giancarlo Esposito, John Voight, Shia LaBeouf, who was a big surprise to be in this movie, and a couple of other people were in this movie too. The cinematography is actually pretty good if you don't mind the green screen and CGI in the film. Like, the cinematography is actually pretty good, I'd say. But the and also the cine and also some of the set designs look really cool too, especially at the arena scene in the film, which if you know, you know. But now we get into the negatives that I have with this movie. First, the storyline is all over the place and it feels confusing at times on like what it's trying to be. And the dialogue ranges from really cheesy to just really cringy and awkward. It's just like, what the hell? And the CGI ranges from okay to bad, and there's just a lot of questionable stuff with the film. And it also doesn't help. There's been a lot of controversy with the film relating to Francis Ford Coppola's behavior on set of the film and the now deleted trailer with a lot of fake critic reviews for some of Coppola's previous films, which turned out to being AI generated, which I don't even know why the hell you would do that to make a trailer for your movie, to use fake quotes like that. Like, that's just stupid. And I honestly don't blame Lionsgate for firing the person who made the trailer for that movie. Like, that's just really stupid. And all in all, the film just, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It's a very polarizing and a very ambitious film from Coppola. I'll say that. You either like it or you hate it. But for me, I was really let down by this movie. But maybe I might watch it again one day. I'm not sure, though. But this movie could have been so much better. But, hey, I'm glad to see that Francis Ford Coppola got the film made, and he was very passionate about the film. This was basically a passion project from Coppola that he's been trying to do for decades, but couldn't do for a number of different reasons, and now the film is finally out. But it's definitely not Coppola's best film, not by a long shot, but it's definitely something to watch. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Southland Tales, which I actually enjoyed that one. Maybe I'll talk about that one day. But anyways, Megalopolis, not the worst movie I've seen. It's okay. It's not terrible, but it's one I was really let down by. Though, maybe I might give it another chance one day in the future, but probably not anytime soon. If there is an extended version of the film, maybe I'll check it out, but we'll see. But anyways, I'm giving Megalopolis a 5 out of 10. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, as always, feel free to leave a like, leave a comment below, subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and share the video. And more videos will be coming out soon, so stay tuned for more. Anyways, guys, that's all I got to say. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And yeah, take care, everybody. Peace out. Bye-bye.